We just want you to know that this is not just a podcast with two white women complaining. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Rebecca.
Welcome to the Burnout Collective.
Your mother is even time policing us.
Okay, listen. I ADHD'd the schedule, okay? So here we are. So sorry we're late. All the time police in chat can calm down. Thank you everybody for the subs lately too. We had a little sub party the other night when we were playing Party Animals as well. So thank you guys.
We were just saying earlier, we still haven't put up a tree. It just doesn't feel like the season. And when we asked Emily, should we put up the tree? She was like, nah, you just turn the lights on. So that's where we're at. Yeah, no one's in the mood, and it's 3 days away. No, 4 days away.
Please don't tell me that. Yeah,
Up so fast.
I know I'm not going to want to do anything today, but tomorrow it's on.
The other important thing that I really wanted to call out. So I've been buying illicit freeze-dried Skittles online for several years now, and the sour ones. And I just saw today that Skittles has come out with its own. It has its own like actual
You
brand
didn't
name.
even tell me that.
I literally found out in the last 10 minutes on Target, and they have sour and regular. So
Merry Christmas to us.
I know.
This is not
We're
the
all
thing I
sensory.
thought you were like, I've been really wanting to talk about this. I thought this was Discord.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this
It's
is
very
serious. And you're like, sour Skittles.
Yes,
Freeze-dried.
all of these sensory seekers, sour, crunchy, fruity,
They're kind of insane.
perfect. And quality control instead of having to buy them from some Mormon in Utah.
Hey, listen, those Mormons, they really do a really good job freeze-drying candy. I appreciate it.
No.
So
I know, but these are cheaper.
we're gonna sell out to the man instead of the Mormons. When it's like the man versus Mormons, like apparently we're choosing the man. And
Any other plans for the last end of the week?
no, I just need to get my tree up and clean more.
Did you get the cat's presents? That's the important question. Do you get your cat's Christmas present?
I don't know if you know this, but like I got laid off, so I don't have a job right now.
Oh, actually, that's a great segue, Jamie. If you go to our Discord, we currently have a job openings channel on our Discord because tis the season to not be working. And a couple of our friends have also unfortunately been laid off. So we are posting any helpful positions that we can find in there, things that we think might make a good fit for the people we know are in there.
Mhm.
But that's just a place to go to find jobs, potentially commiserate. If you know of any openings in your company that aren't necessarily listed, feel free to throw them there.
Please. We have so many people that have been laid off, even just in the Discord, and also like other friends of ours or old colleagues. What?
Did your mom learn how to use?
I don't think she knows what she's doing. Mom? Mom. Oh my gosh, Mom, you started a hype train. It's a lot.
Now they have her credit card info.
Yeah, now it's easy. Now it's easy for her to do it. Merry Christmas, Burnouts.
11.
Indeed.
Holy crap. Thank you, Mrs. Jamie's mom. That was very nice of you.
Very sweet. Awesome. Well, we're off to a really good start. We're not even through our babbling intros yet.
We also just wanted to one more shout out with our Discord. We have a co-working channel, chatty and quiet. So a lot of us are having to work on our portfolios or our resumes or anything like that. So if you just, or even if you're just working, we have those two channels. So you can just kind of like collectively hang out. If you just want some company, if you just need some distraction. But the quiet one is also if you kind of want to do heads down work, just so you kind of feel like you're not having to do all this by yourself because it can be super stressful and isolating.
Yeah. It helps a lot.
Oh, we do have a body doubling channel too. So if you need to do things like wrap gifts or put up your tree or make a child-sized couch or clean parts of your house or apartment, you can do that with company on the end and use the Discord app on your phone so it's mobile. We do have more announcements because I forgot. Congratulations to our friend Alyssa, who currently got a full-time gig. She will be joining us in the beginning of January for our first
Yes.
guest episode. You
Yes.
can find her under Economy Mythos. She's the World Builders Book Club. She streams every Friday. So the first show of the new year will be with Alyssa, which is so exciting.
Yeah, it is really exciting. It's going to be so great. And it's going to be nice to have a guest because that is something that we've been wanting to do.
I think there's one more thing I did want to bring up before we start. Is that you asked a really interesting question earlier this week of, are people going to come to the show and just see it as two middle-class white bitches bitching about the world? I thought about it a lot and I wanted to address it, lest anyone get the wrong idea. It really isn't just two white girls here to bitch. It's more about us trying to build a community for other people. We just happen to have the platform to do so, but it's meant to really give people a place to kind of go have these conversations, not necessarily feel like they're struggling through this by themselves. And especially with all of what next year holds.
Yeah.
Again, I think having a community is super important. And so that's sort of my little PSA is this is more community building for us than it is just airing our grievances.
Well said. If people come in and watch us, I think for just a few minutes and either don't know us or haven't watched the show a lot, I think they could get that idea. And I was just editing some of our show and I stopped it and I was like, Rebecca, did we just come across as two privileged white women complaining? But yeah, it really is that. Like the basis for this whole thing is not even the podcast. The basis is literally like our Discord and community. And so that's why we're so encouraging to like get everybody in there because we literally are trying to help each other find jobs, trying to help each other get that creative spark back that you've lost. Get back to doing art, get back to streaming on Twitch or start streaming on Twitch for the first time because it's something you've always wanted to do, but you were scared and maybe you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we have a community and we're here to help and we're here to, I don't know, like we just want to lift each other up. So,
Yeah. I mean, we're not benefiting from the Discord in any way, shape, or form, except that it's no longer just the two of us. We now have like more people that we can pull into our kind of support network.
and we have a lot of
Yeah.
fun and we also play games too. So even if you're just a gamer and you're looking for people to play games with,
Yeah. Just being around these people is so inspiring, getting to see all these really cool things that other people are making and doing and just putting out into the world and being able to share that is so, I don't know. I don't talk like this, but it is very nurturing, nourishing for the soul.
Yeah.
I think anyway, that's what that is.
I love this for you.
You have to talk. I'm going to throw up a little bit more.
Okay. Let's come gain friendship.
Yeah.
Or join the Discord only for personal gain. If you're trying to find a job, do whatever you want.
Yes. And it's not
Oh.
filled with middle class privileged white ladies either, by the way, just in case anyone, again, just to hammer home, that's not what we're doing.
These are for the clips. We just want you to know that this is not just a podcast with two white women complaining. Sorry, privileged white women. So let's get started.
Speaking of friendship,
Oh,
what are we talking about today?
we're all just a family.
We're like a family here.
We're like a family here.
How would I describe this workplace? We work hard, we play hard. We're a bunch of go-getters, and we're like a family here.
Oh, God. I hate that. Family means I don't get to have PTO, doesn't it?
That is correct, because family doesn't take time off. We're always family.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't take time off from your family. Like,
you're family
right?
forever.
If they're your family, like, you have to love them and give all of your time to them.
Just like your family, the majority of them are unmedicated and untherapized and essentially feral. So,
and manipulative because they're like,
and manipulative. That's right.
They're putting that idea in your head. They're just dropping that in there. And then you're like, oh, it's a family. Yeah, people are nice. It's a family. And then you're like, I really should go home and eat and rest. But you know what? We're like a family. And I'm going to stay here and I'm going to help out my family until 9 o'clock at night.
Okay, this is like one of those no shit things. But so one of the signs of cults is like deprivation from sleep, from food, from outside activity, from conversation. Like There are multiple signs that things are a cult, and what you just said was like most of that. Oh my God.
We're like a
It's not
cult
a workplace.
here.
We're like a cult here.
Drink the Kool-Aid. That's how it is, especially at startups, right?
And it's not drink the Kool-Aid, it's we have a keg in the kitchen.
Yeah. We also have foosball and a pool table and air
Yes.
hockey.
All you need is right here. I worked for a company that would bring in breakfast and lunch. So you didn't have to leave the company. You had to stay right there and get all of your meals there.
I used to work for a company like on Venice Beach, and we had like our own personal chef who was a personal chef to the stars. And I can't remember who in particular, but it was somebody very famous. And I would always convince him to make me really fun vegan stuff because typically they didn't have a lot of options.
So that was 20 minutes in, and we have the
Vegan.
first. Do you have the vegan counter?
Vegan. Okay, I think it's out of my system. Okay, it's gone. And so we had that for lunch. But my favorite was dinner. Typically people would leave like at 5, sometimes 4, but they would very conveniently have dinner delivered. Sometimes they'd get like Thai food or sandwiches or something, but it was usually pizza, and it would be delivered at 7 p.m. If you stay and work, you can get some free pizza. And then are you really even having to pay for any meals? No. Just stay here. We have really comfy
But it's
couches
also
on the second floor. Why don't you sleep here?
it's Venice Beach pizza though. So
No, it was good pizza. It wasn't like from Venice
okay.
Beach. No, please.
I worked with a girl who took that literally. And so during lunch, she would go upstairs to one of our couches and would just take naps. She would just be whole ass napping on a couch in front of God and everyone,
I love that.
middle of the day.
Wait, who is this?
One of the girls I worked with at this startup. And
I love that.
honestly, it was super ballsy. She did get fired because the men did not enjoy seeing a woman relaxed in any way, shape, or form.
God.
I really admire like her guts. That took guts to just nap.
That took some moxie.
Places that have showers, gyms and showers. Worked for a couple of those too. So again, you don't ever need to leave your house. You
That's
can work
weird.
out and take a bath here. It's so weird. I don't want to know my coworkers are anywhere naked near me at all.
No, no. I think I blocked this out. So at the same place,
Here we go.
we had showers. I forgot we had like 1 or
See?
2 in one of the back bathrooms because the tech bros would get up at 5 in the morning and go surfing on Venice Beach. Then they would walk straight to the office and they would shower and get cleaned up and get dressed for work.
Together?
Oh, I'm pretty sure not together. It was like a single
Okay.
shower, I think, in a bathroom.
Okay, good.
Because this,
I mean, still bad, but good.
yeah.
One of the other places brought in a guy to give us flu shots. So you didn't even need to go to the doctor. They were just going to give you flu shots in the office. Have you ever been in an interview where they pull that shit and you're like red flag, or are you just like, I'll just deal with it? Because I know I've just been like, I'll just deal with it.
I'm guilty of saying that, but I always say it with the caveat. I hate saying this, but we are like a family.
I have to say the people like who are under you and who you've managed, I know you've mentioned before that they are like actual family, just kind of the bonds you've built.
Yeah. It's like
Right.
people I've taken with me places, and we've taken each other to different companies.
The bond that you formed has been trauma based, just like a family, actually.
Yeah. So it is like a family. That's how this episode's going to end, you guys. Spoiler alert. It is like a family.
Being a family means there are no more boundaries. It is an erasure of boundaries and it crosses over into your personal life. And so when you say, hey, I'm out sick, they feel comfortable asking, well, with what? That
I
kind of shit.
hate
Like,
that.
yeah. Yeah. Actually, John, I just have diarrhea today and mentally feel unwell. So that's why I'm not coming in. Is that what you wanted to know? No, I'm out sick. But it's just no boundaries. It also means like you don't go on a honeymoon because you've started working for a startup and you don't feel comfortable taking a week off for your fucking honeymoon.
Have you never had a
Uh,
honeymoon?
no.
Oh my God.
They think that they're entitled to your life. You can also spot when people have been there before. So one of my direct reports used to be like, I'm going to go for lunch. I was like, you have to stop telling me where you're going and what you're doing. I don't care, nor should I care.
Yeah.
It's none of my business.
I don't give a shit. Don't tell me.
Right. But also, it's a bad habit to be in because you're
Mm.
afraid you have to account for every minute of your time because after you've worked at a place like this where
Yeah.
there's like a crossover of professional and personal, you don't know how to untangle that.
Yeah. I hate that so much. If I want to disclose any personal information to you, I will let you know. Otherwise, it's just I need today off or I need next week off. I have an appointment. That's it. Also, managers, this is just a pet peeve of mine personally as an introvert that I know we've talked about, but it's so frustrating to me that every Friday I would have like managers be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing this weekend? Are you doing anything fun this weekend?" No, Susan. No, I'm staying home. I am playing video games. I might go out and do an errand or something, but otherwise I'm just like, I'm here and I'm sleeping in and playing video games. So stop asking me what I'm doing because
Right.
that's going to be the answer every time. And then I can see it in your eyes as you're judging me. That's my answer every time. And then when I come in on Monday, they would also ask,
What did you do
"Oh my
this
God,
weekend?
what
Did
did
you
you
have a
do
good
this weekend?"
weekend?
I'm like, "Did we not just have this fucking conversation like 3 days ago?" Susan,
That's why
nothing.
my meetings are so short because I genuinely don't care. I don't want to ask what you're doing. I don't want to know what you're doing. I don't care. It's not my business. What
Yeah.
you're doing on your non-work time, not my business. Period.
Or if we're taking time off, like that's really nobody's business. And I wish, yeah, even this is a big one too. Holiday parties, because I wouldn't always want to go to holiday parties because I was trying to have like healthy boundaries and live my life not at work. And literally like the guilt and the shame. And I think most of it probably stems from a place of, oh, I want to see you. And I've worked remote for so long that I want to meet you face to face, which is great. Don't make me feel guilty for not wanting to go. And especially it's like the holidays. So it's like the busiest time of year.
Mhm.
Most people are doing stuff with their families or friends or found families. And
I also want to interject here and say, especially if you're a woman, how the fuck do you think holidays happen, men? We can't do stuff during December because that's when that magic is happening and everything that you enjoy the last week of December. That's what we've been doing. That's what we've been doing. That's what we've been doing.
there's so many
So
good, dirty jokes in there, but we're not going to do that. Yeah. But yeah, in the interview process, I do see it as a red flag. But I think I have done what you've done, or I've been like, I'll just deal with it. Or sometimes it's even like everything else seemed good. Typically, it's a red flag. It's definitely something that I look at as a red flag, but that doesn't always mean if somebody says that, I'm automatically like, nope, not going to get that job. Because typically, when I'm looking for a job, I don't have one and I need one.
yeah,
So,
okay. So just like families, they put you in the fucking corner and you can't get out of it because you're financially beholden to them
mhm.
and you're reliant on them for Maslow's hierarchy of needs in the form of your paycheck.
And God forbid that you try to negotiate your offer, the compensation in your
Oh,
offer,
asking for a raise?
asking or later asking for a raise. Like, dude, asking for a raise with family, with work family is. I had a manager that it was a man. It was indeed a man. So anytime different compensation things would come up, whether or not like I was being asked to do an entirely new job, or one of my direct reports was asked to do an entirely new job with a new title and a new gig, and it was a promotion. And then trying to go to bat for them to get them a promotion and to get them the raise they deserve. And my boss is just like, why are you asking for money?
Oh
You
my God.
really should just
Yes.
work hard and earn it, and then we'll give you the money. Show us that you can do the job and do the work, and then we'll compensate you for it years later.
You can't go to that sleepover until you show that we can trust you. It's that
Yeah,
same sort of mindset of
1000.
actually, you really do need to work for it
Mhm,
and
mhm.
show us that you deserve it. It's that wounded, it's acting wounded, the professional wound of,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
It's manipulation. It's all manipulation.
that's something we've talked about a lot, especially when you go to work for former coworkers who are now your boss, who you did think were like family. And then you realize they're just as bad. But we do have found family outside of all these works, however,
Outside of all these
or
works.
outside of all these jobs, outside of all these works, outside of all these jobs. So
Discard.
I've gathered my own little group of people who I carry with me just in my life that I've gathered from all these traumatic workplaces.
You're my person. It's you.
And for you. Wow. Really brought that down, huh?
We're not just here complaining about shit. But honestly, it does. It sucks. And maybe there are, some bebes out there who don't have a lot of experience in the job market or they're just starting their career. Take a second look if anyone says to you, we're really like a family here. Honestly, like a pause. They do like dramatic pause. Honestly,
The nonprofit boss where we just really need you to be dedicated to the mission. It's that really manipulative conversation and that way of talking. And also the ways that family communicate, unhealthy families communicate with that sort of passive aggressive. We don't talk about problems. It prevents healthy communication and healthy conflict in the workplace. So you just have like this simmering pot of rage underneath the surface. And they're fine knowing that they've continued to not let you get that out there because
well, they've
they won't let
controlled
you.
you. They're
They've
like,
controlled
she's
you.
not going to do
Right.
anything because we've
Yes.
manipulated her hard enough. We've beaten her
Yep.
down. I felt like that a lot. There were a lot of times,
Mhm.
especially early on in my career, but even a little later where I did feel comfortable standing up for myself. And I sure as hell felt comfortable standing up for my
Oh, yeah.
team or my coworkers. But yeah, there have been times where I was like, this isn't right. And I need to tell them that. But I've felt so like pressured and beaten down and like belittled that and manipulated that I feel like I can't say anything. And I didn't.
Because they turn it around on you. They act like it's a personal affront to them
Mhm.
instead of so one of the best pieces of advice I'd ever got was like a communication in the workplace ideally is it is about work. It is not personal. It's about work. It's about helping you do your job better. Except with this whole we're a family thing, they turn it into we take this personally. It's a personal attack on us.
Mhm.
It's not about how to run the business better. That sort of unhealthy familial dynamic just kind of pours over into non-communication in the workplace.
Yeah,
And they encourage it and it thrives.
it really does. And that's just the like one toxic person that's like at leadership level. It just slowly snowballs into an incredibly large framework, large just group of people that are toxic. And that makes the extremely toxic work environment where people feel like they can't speak up and they can't ask for what they deserve. And it truly is that. And this is where, like pay disparity comes in.
Yes. Oh, that's the other thing. It's not illegal to talk about your pay, guys. If they ever tell you it is, it's not. You can talk about your pay, and you should.
I liked to go around like testing people out to see if they wanted to exchange what they get paid. If anyone asked me, I like at work, I would tell unless it's someone I don't really know, but I would tell them on my team. And I think I'm kind of, it's like my way of secretly like trying to do my own version of transparent salary formula, but it's just transparent like
Yes.
within my team and like the people that I talk to.
But they discourage it and they triangulate workers again in a really unhealthy familial dynamic.
Mhm.
It just echoes the way that unhealthy families are of like triangulating and pitting workers against each other. And because if you come together and you discuss, then oh no, someone's going to hold them accountable for their behavior.
And there's always the person that's so traumatized they don't even know what happened to them, where like you'll
Oh,
have a
yes.
meeting and it'll turn into either, maybe a bitch fest or people talking about pay, things that like you're not supposed to talk about, which you can. You absolutely can. You can tell anyone you want how much you get paid. And then someone's in that meeting and they're like, that wasn't right. They shouldn't have done that. So then they like go tattle. And it's who hurt you that you're tattling
Yeah,
the man?
Never more tattling people than adults at the workplace.
Yes.
Bunch of tattle ass people.
At like big companies.
Oh my God.
This is insane. I see.
Tails.
If bosses post propaganda forbidding discussion of pay, that is grounds for a lawsuit. Yeah, it's illegal. They can't do that. Also, if you live in one of the states where they have to disclose pay in a job description,
like California,
or if it's a remote job and it is open to people in California, New York, and wherever else has it, they legally have to put the pay range in there, a pay range for the role.
I am shocked at the amount of HR people who don't know labor laws. Kind of like the amount of people in your family who have never been to therapy or understand boundaries.
Oh my God, it's true.
Conversation.
Man, this comparison just keeps getting better because I feel like we were like, yeah, we can talk about this and we can really compare it to a family, but it just keeps getting better and better.
And also, just like a family, there's always a creepy uncle who will probably touch you at some point at the workplace.
That's very
We're
true.
like family here, the good and the bad. Yeah, no, the amount of people who don't know labor laws, and again, people just continuing to exist in this world without knowing this and just going about and everything's fine. And even when someone comes to them and says, hey, it's illegal,
we'll maybe get a slap on the wrist. And it's whatever. And it's, you would rather do something illegal? That's crazy to me, is that you would rather do something that is illegal than tell someone how much a role pays, which is like the single most important fact they want to know for the job.
When you ask in an interview how much it is.
And then they're like, well, I mean, what do you make now? Another tip, ladies and gentlemen, ladies especially.
They're not allowed to ask you that. You can't tell them.
Yeah, don't tell them. I know it's hard and it can be so awkward and it'll take practice. But if
I'm not at liberty to discuss that, actually.
If anyone asks what you were paid, or even if they say, which this isn't illegal, but even if they say, what are you thinking for this role? Don't tell them. Or do what some people do and give them a just ridiculously high number. But I would not give them anything.
I do have to shout out the last HR person I dealt with who was going to ask me, like, what are you thinking of the pay range? And then I was just silent. And then she said a number that was like way higher than my number. And I was like, I didn't do any of the stuff you're supposed to. I was just a money pig and went, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So I really fucked that up.
Yeah, that's another thing, is always negotiate. Don't ever take the first offer, because no one, listen, podcast at burnoutcollective.com. Email us if this is you or you have a story. But I have never heard of anyone saying, I tried to negotiate my offer compensation and they decided not to give me the job. That doesn't happen. Yeah.
Should ask.
Oh, God.
We don't go there because we get satisfaction from the work. We go there because we have to live in a place and eat food. Oh my God. Just like a family. We're doing the best we could. Okay. We're doing the best we knew how. All right.
I'm your father. You should just love me. Just love me. Don't ask how much your allowance is going to be every week. Come on.
C-suite is the toxic dad. HR is the enabling toxic mom. And by the way, I have not told my parents about this podcast, so I'm going to throw them right under the bus here. One of the things I think we've alluded to is that I was raised in a super strict household, very religious. And one of the things that was held over my head was money. So we will stop paying for your college if X, Y, and Z. Like, there was always the threat of, we will take away something that you actually need to get ahead in the world if you don't comply. And there's sort of that same fear that follows into companies where there's like a wealth disparity where they have something that you need, AKA your fucking paycheck. And there's a fear that if you ask for more, they're like, I mean, we could take all of it away. Is that what you want? And it's really, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, that strings attached trauma has me fucked up with my family. And it rolls over into the workplace.
Yep.
And people 100% take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's
Eh.
terrible. And that's why it's just this endless cycle of trauma. Like you're literally being traumatized over and over when people are making you feel shame and making you feel guilty for asking for something. Like there were even times where I was like, so I know you like doubled my work or whatever, but maybe you could just give me, if you could just give me $2,000 more, like just for 2,000, please. And they're like, you work this role. Listen, we gave you responsibility, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh,
Earn
like
this
no,
responsibility.
this is a new role that we made for you. And yeah,
God. Oh
you
my God.
earned
How many
those.
times have you had that pulled on you? Because I can think of at least two. I've had a brand new role, quote, made for just you.
Yeah, it's made for
God,
just you. It doesn't pay anymore.
God damn it. Merry
Merry
Christmas. I'm gonna be
Christmas,
so proud of us.
everyone.
But the trauma continues. So I, my boss way back brought up like, hey, I'm planning to promote you. And I never brought it up again because I knew for sure in my heart that if I brought it up, it would turn into a situation, not because I get those vibes, but just because that's how it's been everywhere
That's
else.
your
So I'm like,
experience. Yeah.
if I bring it up, they'll think I'm just talking about money and, you know, I won't earn it or whatever. Which is deeply unfair to him. There is no way like, he did not make it seem like that, but that's just sort of the learned response. So when I actually got promoted, I cried on the phone call because I was not expecting it at all.
And then you cried on the phone with me, I think 2 other times that week or
Yes.
within a few days.
Yes. But because it was like, and he was like, and here's more money. And I went, oh my, I didn't have to earn my
And
way into it. They just, yes.
yeah.
I
That
so
happened to
got
me too at my one of my recent jobs where I got a promotion, but I wasn't actually doing the work of the role until a couple weeks later because there was like a transition or like whatever. And so let's say that I was starting this new position on January 1st, but they told me like December 2nd or something like that. They made it go into effect right away all the time. And that was my moment of, oh, oh, you're giving me like back pay, like the promotion and the money starts in like weeks before I'm actually doing the job.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We're promoting you. We want you to have that immediately. And I was like, oh my God. Because
And again, just like families, that way that you're feeling is the same way I feel when someone's, oh my God, I love my dad so much. I'm like, what do you mean? He's just like my best friend and we get along and I just love hanging out with him. What do you mean? That's not how it goes. So similar with the business stuff. Oh, that's how it's supposed to go. I was not aware that the people
yeah,
did this.
yeah.
Yeah. Our therapists are going to be so proud of us next week.
So tell me, what did you unpack at the podcast last weekend?
I have one more way. It's like a family.
Yeah.
Shitty Christmas gift.
Oh God.
Like that weird thing you get from your grandmother also rolls over to my boss getting me two Star Wars prints that he found on Etsy because I had mentioned once that I had seen the movie. He was like, she will enjoy this.
I mean, that's kind
And
of
he
cool.
got
Do you still
me,
have them?
I was so angry. I was so angry because the answer was more money. And I got fucking Star Wars prints from Etsy. Robert, who God I love so much, he took them to Michael's and paid so much money to get them professionally framed.
Well, now you
And
have to take a picture of these and we'll add it to the
I
Discord.
didn't tell them how much I hated them. And so for Christmas, he got them professionally framed. And I opened them, was like,
Oh, he wrapped them for you? Rob, I love you. That's good. She doesn't need a honeymoon. That was enough. That was perfect.
this is so great.
Wait, he didn't do it ironically?
No, I
Oh.
hated them. I
Oh.
know, it was so nice. The other bad gift was, again, instead of more money, same boss who got me Stories Prince also got me a Coach purse.
Oh, I remember that actually.
I know. And
Scheduling
very weird.
coach person.
It was very weird because
Yeah.
I was like, you could have just A, you could have just given me this money. B, no.
Yeah.
C, like purses are very personal and some of us don't like that or want it or
Yeah.
need it or feel uncomfortable
It,
with a bag that has its own bag.
you know, when like men have like assistants at work and they're like
That's
the
exactly.
secretary and they're like, hey, I don't know what to get my wife for our anniversary, to the secretary. They're like, what should I get her? You know, that's what it is. But I think it's the opposite. It's, I'm supposed to get gifts for these women that I work with. They're like asking their wife. She's like, I don't know. I mean, I want a Coach purse.
And
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
just give me money, please. Just give the money. Just give the money. Don't buy us shit. Grandma, also boss. Just
Yeah.
do not buy me Star Wars prints person.
Just money. We'll take the money.
Just
We
money.
like
Money,
money.
please. You're like,
Money. Sponsor us.
yes. So
That'd be great.
grandma, write a check.
Sponsored by money. Honestly, this has felt like I feel relieved. It's felt really good to talk about it and get it out and like even just warn people that might not know. I mean, I'm sure all of us know, but like I said, there are some people that are like new to their careers and you know, I didn't know all this when I started. And those are the times when I just shut my mouth because we're a family here and comes back to always ask questions and seriously always negotiate. I negotiate severance. They lay me off, they fire me. I negotiate severance, you guys. Like, in my opinion, I guess there is a chance something can happen, but in my opinion, you negotiate it, and the worst that can happen is they just say, no, it's this, take it or
Yeah,
leave it.
that's true.
The best that can happen is they really surprise you and they give you a ton more
Your
money.
job back.
No, please. That's far too much to
But
ask. Once you're out of the family, you're out of the family for good. They want to
yeah,
remove your
but like
guidelines. I'm just kidding. I'm not, but yeah.
Alyssa just put, have you learned how to self-advocate? And again, in a family, that's something that's not encouraged at all. And so you have to learn it as an adult if you grew up in a type of environment where that was not encouraged.
I think it's something we always talk about. Like it just seems to
Mhm.
always come up.
The last thought I had was all the things that I'm doing as a fairly, this is the largest team I've ever managed, I think. So still new to that. And I'm thinking of all the things like I try to do, and none of them encourage them to be closer to me in any way, shape, or form, or make them feel obligated to me or like they owe me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. Because again, bad family does that, toxic family does that, toxic workplaces who say we are like a family, they make you feel obligated to them and like you owe them. And the biggest thing you could ever do as a manager is go, if you want to find somewhere, or if you find somewhere else, I will 100% support you into moving on to your next place. I just want you to be happy. I support you, whatever you decide to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all like I hope for too is I try to be a good manager and all I hope is that if anyone were to ever and I don't need to hear it, but if anyone were to ever ask somebody who I managed, "Oh, did you like having her as a manager?" Because I was thinking about like getting this role and it would be under her. Like all I hope is that they say, "Oh, yes, do it. Like Jamie's a great manager." That's all I want. And I don't know, is that weird? Is that I mean, that's not why I try to be a
No,
good manager, but I think that's all I can ask for is that or even if they're just like, "Yeah, she's good. Like she's not a shitty manager." It's just like she's not a shitty manager. I think I would even take that because the standard,
I,
the bar is so low. It's so low.
the bar is in hell.
Our point is that typically you trauma bond with the
Mhm.
people you work with and you become your own little family. So it's like just how, you know, blood doesn't have to be your family. Like you can have your own found family for everything else. I think we have our own found family for work, except it's made up of people that we don't work with anymore, you know? We both worked together and here we are and we're so close and like Alyssa, like we worked with Alyssa and we're so close and we've just built this little found family out of all the trauma bonding we did. Man, there really is just nothing like trauma bonding, huh?
Yeah. And those are the people that you can find within your like co-working space that you can go, my diarrhea is so bad today, I cannot go to this.
And if you can get that while you're working there, that's like perfect. But sometimes it happens after, because sometimes people are too afraid to talk about it, depending on like how toxic the situation is. So sometimes like you get laid off and then you're all like, oh, let's start this chat outside of work and start talking and like exchange phone numbers. And then you find out that everyone else was going through the same thing as you. You were all just too scared to talk about it. That's like getting your IRL siblings together and
Oh my God. Doing the cousin walk at Thanksgiving. That's when that shit comes out.
yeah,
We compare notes.
and investing in those bonds rather than competing to get ahead. That's another thing is that's part of the toxic culture is they're like, we're like a family, but then, you know, Stephanie or whoever treats it like a competition and is just there
I
to,
mean, you mean Stephanie the tattle bitch who tattles?
yeah, Stephanie the tattle bitch. You find your family built up of those people, and I think that's awesome. I am so thankful for my found work family. Still, to me, it's like my little introvert army, and then Alyssa, who we call the introvert whisperer, the extrovert who's an introvert whisperer.
The emotional support extrovert.
Yeah.
Yes, toxic
Yes,
families also pit sibling. Yeah, they 100% triangulate the siblings. It's like when my sister and I, at 39 and 36, finally start becoming friends after we've compared.
Wait, just now?
I mean, the past couple of years, yeah, like we weren't really close before that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it would be my parents being like, "Oh, well, just talking shit."
Pitting you against
Yeah,
each
that
other
happens.
because they don't want you to talk because they know if you talk,
That's
you will rise up.
That's how unions are formed, Jamie, and that's how a union is born. Union.
My siblings and I
Toxic.
formed a union against my parents. Oh God.
Yeah. I just wanted to thank everyone again for coming pops.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming. I hope you all get a Coach purse. Oh, and thank you to everybody for the subs and the gifted subs. I know we already said that, but it really means
Thank you, Mrs. Jamie Plum.
and Manic and everyone else. Like, yeah, no matter what you give, we really appreciate it. And we love this. We love doing this. So we will catch you all next week. Have a good holiday or season.
Okay, we're doing the mom thing. We're long goodbye.
I know. I do long goodbyes. Whether I'm trying to wrap this up with a nice little fucking bow. So if you could just let me do this. I'm trying to say we hope you have a good holiday with your family, whether that's your found family or your family. The long goodbye. I'm so good at it. All right. The Burnout Collective is hosted by me, Jamie Young.
And me, Rebecca McCracken. You can find all our episodes plus show notes at burnoutcollective.com.
Follow the Discord link on our website to join the Burnout community. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram.
If you're interested in being a guest on a future episode or have questions or feedback, you can email us at podcast@burnoutcollective.com.